Man, I hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful day. And y'all hear me say that a lot because I try to enjoy every beautiful day I can. You never know when you are not going to get another one. Whatever part of the United States you're in, I don't know. For most of my viewers on here, just so y'all know, this is only going to be on my YouTube channel and it's going to be on this private page, Savage Mind Designs. And for the people that are close to me, they know what I'm working on. And I wanted to take the time to put a video out about this because it's a little bit easier. And it's a beautiful day in Texas, man. It's like 77 degrees today. I got a mountain bike ride in. I worked in the yard and drinking a cold beer right now. About to make dinner. And man, I'll try to keep this short as I can. It's not easy. I may have to do a couple more videos. Condensed version. Anybody that knows me knows my message is profound. I am not about enabling. I'm not about sugarcoating stuff. And I am not about smoothing things over and sweeping things under the rug because it is very ineffective. The long-term ripple effects of that in families, whether it's a job, whether it's with your children, whatever it is with your loved ones or people, whatever that is, I don't know one case or example that I have ever heard where not dealing with something on the front end ever works itself out. Maybe y'all need to think about that. If you've got one, you probably made it up because it doesn't work like that. So anybody that knows I spent 20 plus years at the same job. I have a couple of grown kids, and I have stepchildren. I have grandkids. Started really young, and I left in a long-term job, and I've had other passions and other interests since then. And I wanted to explain a little bit of what I'm working on. First of all, anybody that has showed me even very little support is very much appreciated for my shirts and things like that. And any of y'all that are on my Facebook knows that I've been doing Facebook videos for a couple of years now, maybe a little bit longer, off and on. And you know, when I was younger, I thought if you just work hard enough and you just make money, everything will work itself out. That's what we're told. Conventional, traditional upbringing, wisdom by society standards tells us if you do all of these things will work out. Well, I know a lot of hard-working people that've been working hard their whole life that haven't did drugs maybe or have led a pretty clean life, who believe in God, who stayed out of prison, whatever it may be, and their life has not worked out. So it doesn't mean not work hard. It means do smarter work. So that's what I started doing. When I was younger, I always took part-time jobs, no matter what it was, to pay the bills, to earn some extra money for vacation. That's admirable. That's what a man should do. No one likes a lazy man. There's no use. You look up, there's a lot of things that we don't like to come to terms with in life. And a lot of people that are uneducated on things, uh, they get offended. And when you get offended, you can't correct things. Just like pride gets in the way of progress. Uh, As I always say in my videos, people never hear me attack anybody for race, religion, sexual preference, or anything. I put a general statement out there, which people say, well, that's your opinion, Jason. If you pay attention, most of the time I back it up with facts. The math don't lie. The only people that get offended are the people who don't want to correct something. So I started a few years ago taking notes for different things, and I had a buddy that got a book published, and I didn't know that. He came to me, actually reached out to me first and said, hey, Jay, can I meet you and talk to you? I said, sure, man, what's up? Anytime. What are you doing? He goes, I seen you writing a lot of stuff down. He goes, you ever thought about writing a book? I said, man, it's crossed my mind. I said, I don't know how to do it. How do I go about it? Things like this. What happens if this? What happens if whatever. Second guessing yourself all the time. So a couple years ago, I started taking book notes. I'm not there yet, and I'm gonna get to that. I have notebooks of stuff I write. Anybody that sees my posts know I write regularly, a few times a week. Um, um, and then a few years ago, I had a buddy that was Not just one, but a couple of people that told me, seen my videos and said, hey man, you know what? You should start a podcast. And I really didn't know how to do it. For example, I have probably a year's worth of podcast material, but I never looked at the technical side of it. So then I started talking to people, and my one buddy sent some of my videos to this guy who does podcasting, who used to do it out of his garage and still kept his full-time job. And until he got enough sponsors, enough support, things like that, till he started doing it for a living. The guy reached out to me, and I'm not going to say his name because it doesn't matter. Oh, real quick, plug Beard Commander. Again, y'all have heard me plug in before. Okay, that's the only plug I got today. Because I plug anybody without them asking me. If I feel like I should support them, they don't have to ask me to support them. And anybody that's seen my videos in the past know how I feel about support and how people work against you. And this guy got a hold of me and says, why aren't you doing it already? He said, why aren't you doing a podcast already? And I said, I don't know, man. I'm working myself into it. So then one time I was sitting around, I don't know if it was at a fire, barbecuing or whatever, one of my best friends, man, a guy I consider a brother, said, man, your message is savage and profound. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I said, I never call myself savage. He goes, no, your message and your position and stance with your loved ones, whether it's getting off of drugs, whether it's not enabling, not letting people be the victim, not staying in a bad relationship, not doing drugs, getting out of a bad job, whatever it may be. He goes, you have a zero tolerance, man, for your loved ones. And that is exactly right. I do. If you think I have a savage message for strangers, you should be a loved one of mine. Because if you are enable, you allow people to be the victim, you sweep it under the rug, you ignore it. Whatever you do, you feed addiction, which doesn't mean drug addiction, any kind of addiction. It's ineffective. So I feel like most people do not pursue their passions. They do not pursue what they're good at. Most of us, when we were younger, I did it too, for over 25 years. We aren't following the path that we probably wanted to follow, or we never honed in on our skills. We usually fell in the trap too quick, whether it had been family, whether it had been having children, whether it had been a job we really don't like, in the wrong relationship, and before you know it, we were in too much debt, we had too many obstacles in the way, and it seemed too overwhelming to try to do something different. I know I did, man. I thought that seemed so far out of reach. And most of us surrender really early. And it's really kind of sad because they say you only live once. No, you only die once. 3 words that should scare people. You're going to die. That's not being negative. But that's what people do. If it's what they want to hear, it's positive. If it's not what they want to hear, it's negative. I mean, I could go on. Y'all seen my other videos where I see it all the time. My personality, my character, my action, it either pulls people in or it keeps them away. Kind of like we have a lot of women friends, and when they're out of the toxic relationship, they pull us in, and when they go back, they push us away for whatever reason. Nobody likes for it to fit them, and the only people that are offended are people that it fits. If you never use name, you never use religion, you never attack anybody, never use race, and everybody knows this, the last thing I can do is use any race, because the majority of my support is not Caucasians my age. I promise you that. That's the least of my support. And I don't mind. I mean, keeping it real is not a part-time job. It's a full-time job. And I feel like that there's a shortage. And I feel like that people like myself are a rare breed nowadays, because we live in a politically correct society where everyone's offended about everything. And it's because it works. If you bitch about something and you go complain, or you bring up an issue, or you go whatever it is, you go talk to someone or go report someone for whatever reason. Sometimes it's just because we don't like the truth. Majority of the time it's because we don't like the truth, which is there needs to be more people like myself, which is, it doesn't mean I'm right, But a lot of people will say, that's your opinion, Jason. Yeah, sometimes it is, and usually I'll say it's my opinion, but usually I back a lot of my stuff up with facts. And just so y'all know, a lot of people don't know this. I started studying a lot of psychology on this, taking a few small classes here and there, but I'm overrun with knowledge right now. I have self-educated myself the last 10 years, especially the last 4. I've been quietly doing this, audio books, online classes. That way, when somebody asks me, where did you get the facts and statistics from, I can show them. Most people have a traditional, conventional, passed down opinion. They don't have an educated answer. They just don't. And when people don't have a legitimate educated answer, they have an angry response. It's pretty typical for people to get pissed when you're right about something. But when you're trying to save somebody's life, when you're trying to get them on track with their life, when you're trying to keep them from ruining their life, whatever it may be, there's no time for sugarcoating. When you sugarcoat things, it makes it seem less, how do I put this? If you sugarcoat things and you sweep it under the rug, it makes it seem less necessary to fix it. So, well, my buddy said, man, your message is savage and profound. I started thinking, and of course, this has been developing over a couple years. I went back and forth, wrote notes, and I thought, I'm going to call my brand Savage Mind Designs. I'm going to start a podcast. So, I'm going to write a couple of books. I'm going to roll some t-shirts out. I'm going to get a YouTube channel. There's no good time to do stuff. And what I decided at this point in life, being 40 plus and busting my ass my whole life, long before I was 18 years old. I spent 22 years at the same job. I've been working long before that. When your body and mind is wore out, no one gives a shit no more. It doesn't matter how hard you work. And I told my kids, my stepkids, my family, my loved ones, when my day comes and my number is up, and y'all y'all are standing over my casket, I don't want y'all to say, my dad was he was a good dad. He loved us. He was a hard worker. I know he loved us. He was a good dad. I do want them to say that. But I see, you know how many funerals I've been to and people forget about you when you're gone? I want to leave a legacy that has nothing to do with money. I want to leave them something. I want to change generational curses. Being poor and broke right here is being poor and broke right here, and it's passed on to generations. There's a shortage of people out there who's telling the fucking truth. There's a shortage of people out there that have the hard conversations people don't want to have. The reason we have so much fake backstabbing is because nobody's having real conversations. So I'm passionate about this, and I call it my brand, which is Savage Mind Designs. And it's going to be connected to a YouTube channel. It's going to be connected to podcasting. It's going to be connected to my shirts, eventually other apparel, and Instagram, things like that. And I want to grow from there. Again, I had a guy tell me, he said, I feel like, another thing, just to let y'all know, I've had a couple of, I didn't have to reach out to them. They reached out to me. I got invited to a couple of speaking events to talk to troubled youth. And I started remembering that I did that when I was younger, when I got in trouble myself. I never pursued it. I was a union rep for a long time. I was a speaker. I'd speak in front of 400 or 500 people. I never pursued it because I worried about the paycheck. So I don't mind saying I don't make an incredible amount of money right now. I make a fraction of what I used to when I was younger. So I started pursuing my passions and redid my budget and became resourceful. And I work on this harder than I do anything else. I'm not going to take part-time jobs no more. I'm not going to go find a job to satisfy paying the bills. We spend our life paying the bills. And the reason most of us cannot pursue those things is because we're in too much debt. We can't back up. We think if we just make enough money, we just buy something else, we'll be happier. I tell you what, I'm happy about this because I'm passionate about it. When the guy reached out to me to go speak to troubled youth the first time, he asked me, you don't want to know how much it paid? And I said, I don't care. I don't care how much it pays. Can you cover my costs to get there? And he goes, man, that's what I want to hear. So I don't know what's going to happen going in the future. If I get 3, call back 3 times, you usually get a contract. I'm at 2 right now. So my speaking, podcast, my brand of apparel, right now it's the shirts, YouTube channel, and anything else I'm working on is my passion. I'm working for free right now. Again, I have no expectations of anyone except myself. Anyone that knows me, this is not being cocky. Again, another video, difference between cocky and confidence. I'm going to do everything I say I'm going to do. Even at a loss, even if it means failing, because I'm not scared of it at all. Most people don't pursue what they love. They don't pursue their passions. Social media can really work against people. It can really help you. I always say so many people are either the best or worst represented themselves on Facebook or any social media site. You can have 2,000 friends, and if you're judging your whole day around how many likes you get, or a person criticized you, or they don't like your stuff. I just posted here recently. When you're real and genuine and you post truthful content, you're never going to get as much likes or much attention as you do for being fake or posting material things. Post something new you bought, people fucking love it. 30th selfie for the week, people love it. Not that I don't like to see attractive people. I'm not saying taking selfies are bad. I'm saying I'm using social media to reach people. And again, as my message is always, how many ever people, 20, 30, 40, 50, that hate, and the reason I didn't roll this out on my regular Facebook page is because, look, everybody's not going to appreciate it. Let me see. Everyone who thinks I don't know who my haters are, I know who you are. And I'm going to tell you something. The reason I don't even acknowledge y'all is because it's a waste of time. The fact that you're going to take your time to go leave a negative comment, to talk about other people about me, or whatever it is. I've never did nothing to you, but I promise you this. I hope you do your homework if you think you're going to get into it with me in person. Because I feel like most of the people I know, you don't even have the knowledge. You're not even in the same category. I'll disarm you so quick you won't even see it coming. And most of y'all that know me know I will do that. And I won't even get mad about it. So what y'all do is you try to antagonize me. You try to think that you can piss me off. I'm not the baddest son of a bitch on the planet, and I never claimed to be. Not even in the town. But I have data that supports what I am. I feel like verbally and mentally, most of the people I know aren't going to gain any leverage with me. I'm usually going to destroy you with knowledge. And if it gets physical, I'm ready for that too. As always, I'm always ready. Now, with saying that, I share this sometimes. For every 40 or 50 people that get offended, usually those are people who don't fix stuff. If I have 2 people that reach out to me and said, hey, you helped me change my life. You helped me get off of drugs. Hey, I went and got help. I got out of the bad relationship. I fucking got my kid in gear. Hey, I left that job. It's always worth it. It's always, sometimes you gotta, again, you sacrifice a few to save 1,000. And as I have said multiple times, when it's a celebrity or somebody with a different platform, y'all eat that shit up. Y'all share the stuff out of. When you hear it from somebody like me, not so much. You don't want to hear from people you know because you always feel like the shoe fits. So I just want to say how gratefully humble I am to any support I get. Again, I have no expectations for anybody but myself. But deadlines, and I hold myself accountable for my goals. So when people say, I thought you was going to do this, I thought you was going to do that, and then I start naming all the shit I did and the shit I'm doing, they get quiet. I feel like some of the people I've known the longest work against people like us the most. And the reason being, I have people that won't even network with me. Anybody that knows me, man, knows I'm always trying to spread some cheer. I'm always trying to give a hug. I'm always trying to promote positivity. Zero tolerance for bullshit. If you come at me with some bullshit and you haven't done your homework, I'm going to blow right through your ass real quick. People say they want this until it applies to them, and then they don't. The support I've had so far, I thank everyone individually. I love my people. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Anything you want to pursue in life, the reason most people don't is because they're worried about judgment, criticism, your skeptics, and humiliation. Do you really give a fuck in this life if somebody that you don't even see, they don't even care if you're related to them, if they try to humiliate you? Understand this. Once you learn to block that stuff out, and once you learn to stay in your own head, all they're going to do is hate on you more, and they're going to try to gather other haters to hate on you. I started learning to really hone in on my skills a few years ago, and I feel like this is what I should be doing. We only got one goal in this life, and if I can reach anybody and I can help them, if I could eventually make a living at it, that would be great. In the meantime, I just do it because I'm passionate about it. Would I love to turn it into a living? Sure I would. I don't care if I get rich at it. That's never been my expectations. If I wanted to make more money, I would have stayed where I was at. Or I would do a lot of different things for my skills and my experience and my resume, and I don't. Because I feel like there needs to be more of this out there. People hate self-reflecting and looking at themselves in the mirror because they hate to look at the time they wasted. When people ask me, do you think you wasted your time? I don't think I wasted my time, but I think I gave it away at a discount. And when your body and mind is beat up and you can't do it no more, nobody cares. This is what I continue to work my regular job. I told my kids, I want y'all to say, look, my dad wrote a book at 45 and y'all said he couldn't. Look, he started a whole line of t-shirts. Now he's nationwide. He did off of peanuts. He hustled himself. And he did everything without anybody and without it. Any people giving me any privileges or take some steps away from me. Eliminating some obstacles and steps so it would make it easier. I'm used to being behind the curve. I'm okay with being the underdog. I've had a target on my back my whole life because not only do I stand up for myself, I stand up for others. And y'all know that's true, man. So, again, the only people that get offended are the one it fits. If you continue to get offended and you feel like it's you, then you'll never correct anything. It doesn't mean I'm always right, but usually you could look up the psychology behind it because usually I go do my homework before I post something and make sure that I know what I'm talking about. If I don't, I'll say I don't know what I'm talking about. So this is a brand I'm building. I'm up at least 4 days a week in the morning, a couple hours before work, working on all this. Sometimes I do it after work, and usually it consumes a lot of my weekends. So again, any support is greatly appreciated. I have no expectations of no one but myself. But I can tell you this, when you start doing stuff and people seeing it work, everybody that criticizes you and has something to say, they get real fucking quiet, man, when they see stuff working. I don't know why y'all have to hear it from a celebrity or athlete or something. There's common people, average people around you every day that are giving you the tools to help yourself. And I mean, they can give you the winning lottery ticket, you won't go cash it in. You hunters, you can hold a deer down, he can sit down and go to sleep and give you a loaded rifle and you won't take it. It's up to you, man. If you choose to be the victim in this life, you'll be a victim. If you choose to be a survivor, you're still kind of the victim. Or you're a soldier. It's that simple. So I'm passionate about this. I wake up every day on fire about it. And as always, my videos aren't perfect. They go a little too long. And I'll probably do some more. But I notice a lot of these things. And again, man, I don't know how many times I have to tell some of y'all. When I say I see everything, anybody that's spending time with me, it's unnerving the steps I see ahead on everything. I know who you are. I know who all of y'all are. And what happens is, like I said in my last video, the shit y'all talk privately or the shit you allow about some of us privately for others to talk about us is why you can't support us publicly. We're not going to break your arm. We're not going to force you to. And again, don't think your family and the people you grew up with are always on your side either, because they're not. Because I have people that won't even sell me equipment and won't even work with me. And you know why? They'll sit and let it rot. Because people don't like for you to do what they don't do, or they don't have the guts or nuts to do. I'll take something, anything, and I'll turn it into something. And what you do when you take something and turn it into something that they did nothing with, whether it's people, whether it's equipment, whether it's opportunity, I don't chase money no more. I chase opportunity. Not that I've ever been anything but a blue-collar worker. But I promise you this, any of my friends or family and my loved ones know I keep my word the best I can. Even if it means losing, even if it means failing, neither one of them scare me. Regret scares me. And I want a lot less of it because I already got some coming. Regret doesn't come right away. It's on its way. Promise you that. And I'm trying to eliminate less of it. I want to leave a legacy for the people behind me. My kids, my grandkids, my loved ones, my nieces, my nephew, everybody. I want them to say he changed something. He broke a generational curse. One thing y'all need to understand is just because you've been told stuff for decades that is traditional, conventional thinking doesn't make it true. It's generational curses. And I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to start exposing a lot of it. And it's going to offend some people, and it's going to bring stuff to the surface. Well, that's how we grow. That's how we fix things. I want to leave all of my kids and stepkids and grandkids and my loved ones, I want to leave them educated on a number of different things that far outweighs any money. Remember, if you really love your people, you'll give them the tools to do it for themselves, not do it for them. It's not what you do for your loved ones, it's what you teach them to do for themselves. Just because you have it doesn't mean you should do it. I'm going to pass down knowledge to them. So when people ask me, Jason, where'd you get that information for? What makes you the expert? I'll go right here. This is what it does. This is what I do 20 hours a week. So yes, in the meantime, I'm making less money. It's okay. I don't know why people judge people when they're making less. You know, a lot of people like to see you while you're down. They do. I'm genuinely happy. My personal life and my relationship life, my family life, what my version of family is fucking outstanding. I live every day to the fullest. I think look, anybody that has spent time with me, I feel like the way I represent myself on social media is exactly what I am in real life. But for most people, they are not. Y'all are out comparing yourself to people's highlight reels. Most people aren't living what they say. I'm living what I say. My goal is never to be rich. I may die a man making the same money I do now. That's fine. But I promise you this, I'm leaving everybody in my life with a lot of different educational standards and information. So this ran a little bit too long. I got other videos to do too. I just wanted to give it in a nutshell, just a summary of what I'm working on. So I don't have an exact date for my podcast yet. I got to pick up some sponsors. Anything would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to have a number of different guests on, and they're all going to be people that I want to get their name out as well. It might be an up-and-coming artist that's a musician. It might be the guy you just seen me meet with a while back that's lost 200 pounds on his own. We look up to the wrong things and the wrong people. And we give credit to too many people that don't deserve it and not enough credit to people who do. I mean, this world and this society really has a problem with keeping things real, man. I mean, people say they want it, and then when you're around them, they really don't. So I think a lot of people are living unhappy and miserable. I mean, the average human being lives to be in their 70s right now. And for me, that's more than half over for me. What are you going to do with the rest of it? Live a lie? Be miserable? Have that stress fucking eating you up the rest of your life? So, if you're around me and you spend any time with me, you're not going to get nothing but zero tolerance for any of that shit. And again, because my character speaks for itself when I'm around people, I'm not going to defend it. I don't feel like I have to defend it. That's why I won't even get an argument with people on social media. I let some of them go just because, man, I'll hurt their feelings too bad, honestly. They don't. You can hear people talk and tell how ignorant they are, and there's not even no point in even entertaining the thought to even get into it with them, because all they'll do is get angry and blow up. But people like us, who the kind of brother we are, the kind of father we've been and still are, the kind of spouse we are, the kind of son, the kind of employee we are, it speaks for itself. Just because you got offended, we don't owe you an apology. And we're not going to say we're sorry. I'm not going to say I'm sorry. If I feel like I need to say I'm sorry, I will. When you say you're sorry and you're not, it makes you look weak. The shit y'all post on Facebook sometimes makes you look weak. If you feel offended, then it must have been true. So, again, man, real quick on my shirts. You know, a lot of people don't support the small man. Y'all support everything under the sun except that. You know, I operate off of very little resources. And I even give people the option to pay me out $10, $20 at a time. And people can't even do that. I'm not breaking your arm to buy them. I'm saying I'm working on something big and I'm using my own money. So when you see my podcast come up and you see my Savage Minds in the background and you see my YouTube channel, anything would be greatly appreciated. Again, actions speak louder than words. It's not what you say. Sometimes it's what you don't do. People tell you all you need to know about what they don't do. So it's hard for people to make it when you don't support, you know. And some of us are willing to go above and beyond to show our gratitude. And again, man, if people don't have gratitude, they don't have anything. You can't have joy, you can't have love, and you damn sure can't have respect. So I just wanted to take a half an hour or whatever to explain that. Take the time, share the video. I'm only putting on the private page in YouTube. Again, I always want to go a little bit less, but then I get fired up and I start thinking about stuff. And again, no one makes me nervous. I'm not nervous around anybody, regardless of their uniform, regardless of their position, or regardless of their money. Because I don't think anybody, if we really say and we believe what we say we do, that money don't buy happiness, these people aren't better than nobody else, then fucking practice it. I do. I can promise you there's places I go, I treat the janitor better than the CEO. And there's people that can verify that. If I don't respect you as a man, I don't care what position you hold. And if I don't know the recipe of how you got where you are, for how much ever money you make, I want to know the formula. Then I'm not impressed. Something else we're going to get on in the next video. Being an alpha male has nothing to do with what vehicle you drive, what kind of build you got, what kind of beard you got, what kind of clothes you wear, how strong you are. Alpha male is how you treat people that can do nothing for you in return. Real alpha males just do it. We don't expect stuff in return. Anyway, man, y'all stay savage. You can't be savage and soft at the same time. They don't even go together. Savage community, I love all of y'all. Please keep it real. That's the only way we change things. I love each and every one of y'all. Talk to y'all later.